Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 10 Easter Eggs. This one is quite freaking heavy. Alright, let's start. The pin number for Goku's group was 1022, which is a gendarmerie pin number, obviously. Also, Kaioshin makes Goku's ears pointy, but he wasn't capable of doing that around anyone else. It probably wouldn't matter, I guess, since he was a wanted fugitive anyway. Piccolo says that Dende being a baby means the Dragon Balls will be useless, but how does this make sense? Maybe it's because Dende used his magic to change them as a young child rather than as a baby. Or maybe it's because the Dragon Balls are inert after what Goma had used them and stuff. It appears Vegeta's already getting used to the thick air of the Demon Realm as he casually floats around in the ship when Hybius was spitting game at Bulma. Maybe the inside of the ship can somehow resist the thick air, or all the training on the temple did all that for him. Hybius and Piccolo bring Vegeta's perverted nature to reality when he points out how Vegeta loves big boobs. Something many people have thought about since he knocked up Bulma way back in the day. Because of the Majin Buu parallels, I have to point out how the fight with Majin Ku and Tamagami 1 is structured similarly to Gohan vs. Dabra, where the fight is far from the main focus of the current plot. In the Buu arc, it was the tournament taking up screen time, and here it's Vegeta's desire for huge boobs. The second Demon World looks a lot like Namek, or the Kaioshin world, with all its moons and green skies. Makes sense because both beings inhabit this world. And unlike the third Demon Realm, the air isn't heavy, so they can fly the ship as fast as they want to without worrying about damage. Krakens are giant sea monsters that will swallow you whole if you fly really low. There's more information on them about how, and so as legend has it, they say they're so big, they're like moving islands. They got massive claws and all this other stuff. Goku tearing these planes up with the Nyoibo is right out of early Dragon Ball. Anytime the Red Ribbon Army aircraft was in the sky with Goku around, it was a death sentence. Remember when Goku squeezed his face on the plane in DBS Broly, or even with Baby in GT? Well, boom, here's Daima's version. I want to point out how Goma watching his plans explode in his face reminds me of Commander Red and Degesu as Black, like kind of in those roles. Or even like Frieza on Namek when his men like all died and then he brought in the reinforcements and then they all died. Goku and Pansy ends up in the Kraken's mouth. Okay, time for the count. Goku has been inside Bouillon. Goku has been inside Piccolo's mouth, Majin Buu, the giant from planet Monmouth in GT, the dinosaur from the Stretch Planet in GT, and his most recent offense was with this Kraken in Daima. Even the Dragon Ball almost got lost in that monster. This is the third time a Dragon Ball has been inside of a creature's mouth. The other two times were from examples in GT that I just mentioned. This is the original home planet of the Namekians. The way Tamagami number 1 got into Majin Ku's face is real similar to how Majin Buu did to Gotenks, how the tables have changed and turned. And even the fight, now that I mention it, is structured a lot like that fight where he was just kind of toying with Gotenks the whole time. It's kind of funny, I just now noticed this as I was recording. Or when he outspeeds him, another thing I noticed was when he outspeeds him, it's like Goku and Frieza on Namek when Goku starts outspeeding him, or in GT with the 4-star dragon when the 4-star dragon starts outspeeding Goku. Kaioshin points out how the Namekians could have taken trees from this world to rebuild them on Namek, the one that Frieza blew up. So he must be referring to the new Namek, and if so, how the hell did they regrow the same Ajisa crops? They maybe just took the seeds. Who knows? Or, they do have magic, so then there's that. Before Goku ate the revive bug, he asked if they could fill up your belly. If you remember, also, I mentioned this in an earlier video a few episodes ago, but that was an ability that the Senzu had, and the evidence is right there on the screen. And with this, there's now like 5 ways to heal people in Dragon Ball. The Senzu, Buu's magic, Dende's magic, Kibito's magic, and now the revive bugs, which tastes freaking gross. Piccolo mentioned that his father was the one who lived in the Demon Realm, which on the surface seems to be alluding to Piccolo Daimao, Great Demon King Piccolo, right? But he came from Kami after he had already gone to Earth. Plus, Kami rejoined bodies with Piccolo in the Cell Arc, so was Piccolo referring to Katatsu? otherwise known as the father of the nameless Namekian, who would go on to later become Kami and split himself into two, with the other half becoming Piccolo. That's the only way any of this would make sense. That it's Katatsu, right? The nameless Namekian's father. Bulma refers to Goku as Kakaroto or Kakarot for the first time in this episode. Man, Vegeta really rubbed off on her. I should probably rephrase that. Majin Buu loses the fight and runs to Arinsu, and they take off. If he pulled this crap with Vegeta, well, he'd be dead. Arinsu is disappointed in Majin Buu and fires him, but no worries, he's a good singer and pretty fast and good for shopping. So in other words, he's a pussy. The Namekians of the Demon Realm were treated like slaves, so they left the Demon Realm to be slaughtered by space terrorists. Kaioshin drops his backstory and it goes like this. The good Supreme Demon King of his time sought to expand the Demon Realm. He ordered the powerful Super Majin RYMUS, as they said, to create the universe. RYMUS's name pun, which I got from Herms, is apparently an anagram of the Dragon Quest monster known as Slime, right? Which is in Japanese pronounced Suraimu. So when you mix up the words, you get Raimusu, right? And I mean, he resembles Zeno, but also resembles these slimes as well. Herms also states that it could come from the fruit lime, so you got that as well, which are still the highest authority in the universe. What does this mean for Zeno? Who knows at this point? Various universes were created, and Majins began moving to these universes that were created. And RYMUS selected a few of the Gleans to be Kaioshin to monitor these universes. Then he freaking debunks the theory that I had of science being from the Demon Realm by saying that they and the Earthlings were born after the universe was created. Yikes, I posted that video a week ago and I'm just gonna keep it up. Many Glean's ancestors moved to the planets near RYMUS. The warps were used freely to travel between realms. Abradabra's father feared the threat of beings from the outside, kind of like Frieza fearing, the threat of science, so he limited the use of the warps. Many of the Gleans revolted against this and escaped. Shin, however, was still in the Demon Realm, but only after he was chosen as a Kaioshin was when he left. All the Glean trees died, which led to the Glean's emigration from the Demon Realm, which makes them an endangered species. That whole dump of his backstory was the biggest part, if not one of the biggest parts of this video. But that's all for episode 10 Easter eggs, lore, and all that stuff. So come back for the review, and with all the stuff they dropped this week, I'm going to have some questions to answer later on. So y'all stay tuned for more of my videos this coming week. I'll see y'all in the next one.